Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Advance. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Today, we have an absolutely hilarious show. So as you guys know, LeBron James is currently jobless. He's not signed. Nobody knows what's going to happen to him. All of the major free agency moves have already been made. But LeBron James is still out there lingering in the dust, right? Especially after his agent at the time, Rich Paul, had made the comments where he said that 10 to 12 teams, right? 10 to 12 teams were interested in signing LeBron. I want to put up the post here. This is from Legion of Hoops. It says, Rich Paul says everyone wants LeBron on his team, on their team. Says, the other day I said 10 to 12 teams reached out. As of today, outside of one organization, maybe two, I've heard from every team in the entire league via Game Over podcast. Every team. Well, okay. So you heard what Rich Paul had to say there. So what happened? As you guys know, Rich Paul did a show recently with Max Kellerman, Game Over podcast or whatever. And there's a particular clip going viral because Rich Paul essentially put up a whiteboard where he was talking about where LeBron would go. And in this case, he was talking about the Philadelphia Sixers and some other teams. And the San Antonio Spurs were on the list. Now, before we get to the joke part of it, I want you guys to watch the video because it is absolutely hilarious. Then we'll come back. Take a look at the video here.
Philadelphia, everything changed.
Do they have his attention as Windhorst is reporting?
How could you not have the attention when you have Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown, and Embiid?
They're missing. All they really need here is a power forward who can think the game and shoot.
That's why he's in the middle. But think about it. So what is it? He loves Maxey. So we don't even have to talk about that. I think VJ, he helps VJ understand really how to play the game.
VJ's a baby and he's already
super
good.
Talented, plays both ends of the floor, plays hard every night. The benefit that he gets, he should, I mean, it would be ridiculous. Obviously, Jaylen Brown, right? Let me give you an X factor about the Sixers, though. We forgot about something. Jameer Nelson is a part of the front office, ex-player. Mike Gansey, you know Mike Gansey's an Ohio guy. Played against us in high school. There's a picture floating around that Mike Gansey's brother put out of Mike Gansey and LeBron that were a part of the high school Ohio All-Americans for the season.
Does LeBron remember guys like Gansey?
Absolutely.
Like, I don't just mean run into them.
No.
In other words, continuously the whole time.
Absolutely.
Right.
Let me tell you, he remembers every.
No, I'm not saying. Of course, he knows who he is now. I'm saying, but in other words, it was never like, oh yeah, you were the guy from who I used to play. He's just known him the whole time.
No, he knows Tony Stockman, Andrew Lavender, Mike Gansey, Mike Woods. He knows everybody. Emmanuel Smith may.
So you saw the video there, right? Well, it looks like the San Antonio Spurs, another piece of news came out afterward of the San Antonio Spurs announcing something totally different. But before I even show you guys that, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. It's a scorching sports summer, and you can make all your picks on Prize Picks. Women's basketball and baseball are heating up, and with big tennis slams and major golf tournaments on the horizon, you can make your picks for all these events and more all summer long on Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app. I think I'm going to get into soccer this summer with Prize Picks. They're offering everything from group stage winners to goals scored, and I'm excited to watch the big stars from countries like Argentina, Brazil, France, and the US and win money while doing it. What's cool is that I can stack game winners from soccer, NBA, women's basketball, and baseball on top of my player picks for even bigger payouts. And Prize Picks is available in all 50 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. The entire summer of soccer is on Prize Picks, all 48 countries and every matchup. And if you rep your side during the tournament on Prize Picks, you could win a trip to the final in New York. It's the biggest tournament ever, which means there's even more opportunities to cash in while you root for your favorite national sides and global soccer stars. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks, a preferred partner of the NBA. All right, so now I want to show you the post. This is from Courtside Buzz. Came out today. It says, San Antonio Spurs are not expecting to pursue LeBron James after signing Tobias Harris. Report. San Antonio Spurs are not expected to pursue LeBron James after signing Tobias Harris, according to Amari Stein of Steinline. Harris signed a 2-year, $31 million deal with San Antonio. Thoughts? One person wrote, wow. Another guy said, hey, LeBron, Tobias is here. We're all good. Another guy said, Tobias Harris, and he's laughing. One guy said, LeBron would take that team to the top. Harris disappeared when the Pistons needed him the most. Another person said, Tobias Harris over me, like at LeBron James. Another guy said, not going to lie, the Spurs kind of dumb for that one. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing, guys. There's no way to say it. ESPN every single day is scrambling to put out stories about why teams should go for LeBron and how he would be a boon to the roster if they were able to sign him. They're saying all of these things, but we're not hearing anything else. All of the major title contenders, no one is, first of all, what all of this says, for the simple fact that he's willing to accept the minimum, says nobody's willing to pay him that. Look, let's go over the facts again. LeBron had a $52.6 million play option on the table with the Lakers. Generally, what teams do at that point is they agree to extensions. The Lakers said no. Take your $52.6 million and please go home. LeBron picks up his player option. Then we get to the offseason. Everybody's debating Gilbert Arenas, Gil's Arena, those people over there. Is Austin Reeves worth this? Is Austin Reeves worth that? They all kept on talking about Austin Reeves, right? And how they should prioritize LeBron over Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves ain't worth nothing but a bag of chips. Then we hear that the Brooklyn Nets were in play. Then they disappear. Then we hear that the Detroit Pistons were going to pay Austin Reeves over $200 million. The Lakers acted swiftly. They paid him $185 million. Austin Reeves was able to prove there's a marketplace out for them. So they paid him the money. LeBron, who all of these guys were saying should have got Austin Reeves money, no team has stepped to the table to say, hey, look, we give you Max. Where's the team? Where's the team? If there was a team that was willing to pay LeBron max money, why would he instruct his agent that he's open to veteran contracts? Wasn't it these guys saying early in the season that LeBron wants something that reflects his value? This all lies, man. Thank God for independent media, because if there was no independent media and it was just these guys talking, people fall hook, line, and sinker for this stuff. We already know earlier this season that they wanted a contract to reflect his value. Don't you remember when Brian Windhorst put out that comment? How did it go from that to all of a sudden now he focused on this? They're lying. This is what you call damage control. They're trying to control the narrative, forgetting that they had already reported on this stuff early in the year. Brian Windhorst said that LeBron would want you remember the story? LeBron would want the Lakers to explain to him what they plan on doing with the money. You remember all of that? Because he wanted max money. This was like 3-4 weeks ago. And then now all of a sudden, it's like, oh, money is not the fact. They're lying. All of this smoke and mirrors is just to save face. That is all it is, my boys. Ain't nothing more, ain't nothing less. They're trying to save face and to spare him the embarrassment. That is what's going on here.